Welcome to Kim and Angela Talk. Kim is a biodynamic craniosacral therapist, PSYCH-K facilitator, curious human, forever student, and a loving mom. Angela is a Reiki master, PSYCH-K facilitator, emotion code and body code practitioner, metaphysical nerd, compulsive learner, and childless cat lady. Come along for the ride as they explore the mysteries of the universe in their own lives, all while enjoying a good laugh together.
Hi, I'm Angela.
And I'm Kim.
And together we're Kim and Angela Talk. Hi, Kim.
Hi, Angela. Hi, everybody out in audience land.
Hi, audience. Oh, Kim. Kim. It is so hot.
It is warm today. Definitely warm today. But I'm excited, though, because we have a really cool theme today. So.
We do have a cool theme. Nice segue.
A good theme.
What is our theme today? What is our theme today, Kim?
Well, our theme today, which is brought to you by a deck that you had, the Into the Lonely Woods deck, which is one of your favorites.
I do love this deck. I really love the artwork.
Yeah. So we got a beautiful card. I don't know if you have the card out. We do have it out. Look at how cute. Can we read the bottom? I can't quite read the bottom.
Well, it says to watch over you.
To watch over you. And the direct message out of it to formulate our theme today was to learn to trust the messages that you receive, which, given what we do with all of our cards, oracle cards and messaging and PSYCH-K, is definitely what we need to do, is to trust the messages. So
yeah, totally. In
such a way we deepen our connection with the world. So yay, messages.
Yeah, well, what's really, when they read that, I felt the same way. I was like, oh my gosh, this is like so what we do, like all the time. And one of the things that right?
Yeah.
And one of the things that I thought about immediately kind of was like, how, so like we do all of our messaging and we've got oracle decks and all this other stuff. But sometimes it's just like with the deepening the connection to the world, it's like the messages you receive every day just by going in your life.
Yes.
Yeah. So like the last week I was down at the water and I there was this little bird like popping around me. It was a cute little bird. It was just eating seeds. It was like acting like I wasn't even there basically, but it was like kind of like watching me. I think it was like a young bird and stuff, and like it even like popped up on my arm.
Oh my gosh!
And I was just like, oh my god, it's so cute. And I'm like, and then like it was so adorable. And then like not too long after that, I saw this eagle come and snatch a little fishy out of the lake.
Oh, wow!
And I know. And I'm thinking to myself,
all your bird friends.
I know. And I'm thinking there's got to be a message to that. And immediately Bob Marley's song, Three Little Birds, pops into my head.
Aww.
And of course the refrain for that is everything's going to be okay.
Nice.
So I was like, you know what? I'm taking that as my message.
Good message. Gotta love it.
Yeah. And one of the things that our teacher, Sandra Wallen, who taught us PSYCH-K, says is there's messages everywhere. It's not like you have to look at an oracle deck, and you don't necessarily always have to like look for what the message is somewhere else. Sometimes you can just see, well, what is this thing that's just happened? What is that a message for me at? And see what comes up and pops into your head intuitively. Usually the first thing is what it's about.
Yeah.
But
I
also just
say, though. Oh, sorry. Finish what you're going to
sorry.
say. I was just going to.
No, I don't remember. But go ahead.
Sorry,
it popped out of my head.
That was it. It was out. No, I was just going to say one of the things when we're learning PSYCH-K, when we're going through kind of our messaging protocol, one of the questions is whether you have conscious knowledge of the message.
Yes.
And we all hate when we get that one because we just want a message from the cards to spill it out. We don't want to have to think about it. And so everybody's like, oh no, I know it. And it's like, yeah, you do. And so if you do take that pause, you do definitely know what the message is. despite
yeah.
not wanting to say it or think about it.
That happened to me at the Master Facilitation Workshop when I was up there last January. And at that time, Sandra actually happened to be sitting next to me with the facilitator, the other student who was facilitating for me.
Right.
And I was like, and it was conscious knowledge. You have conscious knowledge of the message. And I was like, and it was something that was like cold feet. Cause I was like, why are my feet always cold? They're not anymore. But like, and it was like conscious, it was like, oh, you have conscious knowledge. And I'm like, what could that be? And Sandra looks at me. She's like, really? You don't know? I was like, screw you. It's like, what does cold feet usually mean? Well, that you're something stopping you from going forward, So I just thought it was so funny. Like, that's a funny example of having conscious knowledge and not really wanting to listen to it.
Acknowledge it or listen to it. Yeah.
Yeah, so it was pretty funny.
Yeah.
Well, the message I got for myself actually was from my Medicine Woman deck, and it's this card. Here we go, Grounding. I really like this deck. I love the colors in this deck, the gold edge on this. Yeah. And so what does this say? This says, again, it's kind of really interesting how it ties right into, because like, there's lots of different cards that could come up for similar themes, but this really ties into the deepening connection to the world because it's about grounding, right?
Right.
And so mine was, let me see, bring your projects and dreams for the future to life. Without a powerful and fertile inner world, we live off the ground, meaning we're not being grounded.
Right.
And so for me, my message about bring your projects and dreams for the future to life, I mean, that's kind of a lot of the things that we've been doing or working on. And I have been dealing with belief code, body code stuff, or things that have been blocking me from going forward, or kind of what's causing the subconscious stress, the static that might be interfering with me actualizing the things, my vision for the future. And I was also reading from the astrologer I follow today that the second half of this year is going to be very supportive of visionary projects and metaphysical, expansion and getting more into tune to your higher self and all these things. And so for me, this is very much a kick in the pants of continuing this work. If I think the next belief code session I'm going to do for myself is like blocks around writing, because I actually really love to write. And I used to write a lot more, but I don't know what's been going on this past few years where I've like really been wanting to do more writing. I'm just like, I just never get to it. There's just always something there. There's always some sort of like little thing to stop me from going forward. So I'm like, okay, well, we're going to clear out some of the weeds and see what we can do about like getting these beliefs out, pulling these things out, anything that's sort of blocking me from like really getting more back into writing. And really then going along with this message of bringing these visions, these things I want into life. Actually, this podcast is part of that. It's something that we kind of like took a while for us to really get started going, but we're working on it, bringing this to life, but really going forward with this. And we've talked about other things, other dreams that we've had to bring more consciousness mentality to people, or to help people with like working with, trauma and releasing stuff and transforming and really just being able to continue the work we're doing in different ways, and so that we can really, sort of shape community and to build connections and to do more cooperative work with other light workers. And so yeah, I feel like this card for me was pretty on point. Ground,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because like definitely always going to the woods is always helpful for me for grounding and getting into that sort of meditation mindset. And then also being able to think about these things and be also grounded while I'm here in my office or just in the world. And also by being grounded, also being opening up my connection to source and to my higher self.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you're not grounded, you're flip, flip, flip. You're not really, you're
Yeah.
too flighty. There's too much going on.
Yeah.
But when you can be grounded, then you can have the vision and also do more actions, take more positive actions to bring
Mm-hmm.
the things that you are having up in your vision or the insight or whatever into the actual 3D reality world. So that's how I feel like my message worked for
Yeah.
me today.
Well, I'm going to say we can segue into my message from that definitely because, and I think I need more grounding as well. So, as usual, messages kind of are incorporated for ourselves as
Yeah.
well as for probably everyone else can probably benefit from them too. So, my message today started, and it was actually kind of a more detailed message in that I got the message. It's one of those kind of like, yeah, okay. And then got some clarifying messages after that. So I'll start with my message, which came from just like last week's podcast. It came from the Green Witches Oracle deck,
Really
and
great deck.
yeah, beautiful deck, beautiful deck. And so the card that came up was this one was Rosemary,
Nice.
which I love Rosemary. But the detailed message out of the message from the booklet specific for today's podcast for me that I needed to trust the message was to clear away confusion and uncertainty,
Yeah.
which I think is kind of a lovely theme in and of itself for the general populace at the moment, particularly for myself for sure, because there's a lot of confusion in the world, and we've spoken about this many, many times before, whereby we have so much information coming in from so many different places, and everybody's kind of got an opinion, and everybody's got a solution, and everybody's
Yeah.
got a problem, and everything, um, and uncertainty with a lot of things, and even doubts we've been down along our line of work too, and kind of coming to terms with things for ourselves. And anyway, so I thought, okay, so clear away confusion and uncertainty. And I asked for some more clarification to see what would come up. And so then the sacred deck came up. The sacred oracle deck came up with a card, and
Nice.
this particular card was the wood nymph card, Beauty.
Sweet.
And I'm like, okay, that's a really pretty card, but how does that tie in with things? So the particular message from this card in the booklet was, if you don't kind of clear away the confusion and uncertainty, the message was more of it will fill your life. So be confused and concerned and uncertain and concentrate on all the craziness, and then that's just going to keep flowing because that's kind of
Yeah.
where you're putting your energy into solving all these confusing, uncertain things, right? So that kind of definitely made sense. And then I asked if there was another clarifying message, and indeed there was. And this one came from the other deck that we've done, the Angels. That's all three decks that we've done. That's too funny on our reviews. But
Nice.
yeah, the Angels and Ancestors deck, and the card that came out for me for this was the Eagle.
Nice.
Which love the eagle, and there's your eagle from your message.
I know, right?
See things from a higher perspective. But the particular message again in the booklet was so going back, clear away the confusion and uncertainty, or more of it will fill, or it will move. Sorry, the more it will fill your life. And the eagle card was it will only hold you back. So in trying to solve things and trying to become more certain about things and trying to make it all come into a nice neat package to do all our healing and all our whatever, and is it ever enough, and which direction should we go and learn a different modality, blah blah blah, on and on. It'll just end up holding you back, right? So that you're never, like you said, with your cold feet moving forward, because you always think there's more or something else or something different. And then I got a third clarifying message from this deck, the Enchanted Map Oracle deck. And this was the Golden Palace card.
Nice.
I thought very pretty. And the particular message that came out of that was that in doing so, good fortune, ambitions fulfilled, wealth and prosperity. So
Mm-hmm.
again, go back to the beginning, clear away the confusion and the uncertainty so that it's not. And I believe that grounding would then, lead to that, where we're not all up here in the headspace and the, which direction do I look in or what direction do I take, is just grounding
Yeah.
to then be able to focus
Yeah.
things that come up.
And one of the things that popped into my head when you were talking about that, especially with the confusion and also too with my message, all the noise that happens where that takes you away from being grounded and there's so much going on, is like, if you think about like everything that bombards us in our modern world, like the 24/7 news cycle, all of the things that are being put out there for us to be made to be fearful of or confused about, like you were mentioning, like we were talking earlier about like you like trying to think about like even what to eat that's healthy, because you get all these different messages about that, and everything that comes at us, like there's so much, and it's like it bombards you really. I talked to my dad and I'm like, dude, freaking stop watching the news. That is one of the major sources of your anxiety. Because if you think about it, like, right, I mean, the dude's got it made. He's living in Mexico. He is, I will say, a little bit more freaked out, kind of because of all the stuff that's going on. There's a little bit more like anti-gringo stuff down there now. But, he's living in Mexico. He has a really, chill lifestyle. And I'm like, focus on where you are right now, that you get to like, as things are right now, today, everything's fine. Just be there. Just be present in that moment. Chill out on your, I don't know, whatever they call it, your rooftop patio. Go to the market and get your fresh vegetables. Enjoy hanging out with all of your rescue dogs. And just love life the way it is now, because if you're just worrying about the future and letting all the stuff that bombards you have a negative impact on you today, well, that's interfering with your enjoyment of life in the moment, and there's a really good saying about this, about like worrying about something is like writing a check for something that hasn't happened yet or whatever. But it is like this, it's putting this energy into something that hasn't even occurred, to be worrying about the future. And so the idea of us being grounded and present in the now, I think also opens you up to receiving more messages, and also opens you up to receiving more guidance if that's what you want in your life. And then it also helps you to kind of like when things kind of get to that, like, blah, 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 everything's going and the confusion is like, okay, whoosh, wipe it, focus, ground. Easier said than done sometimes, but when you practice it, if you keep practicing, I think it gets easier over time.
Yeah.
But definitely having this idea of like grounding yourself and not really letting too much of the world and the things that are outside of your control affect you, so that you can be present, be in the moment, be open to the messages, and then also to then have that connection to the world, like it's in the world, not of the world, right? Is the saying. Have that connection to the world. Having that connection to the world doesn't mean being connected to the noise. It means being connected to the energy of Gaia and to the presence of nature. Right. And I kind of feel like it's a good time to go into the audience message, even though I don't even really remember what it is right now. But I'll read it because it is, thinking of the idea of messages, turn them I'm taking it as oh, it's from my Goddess Within deck. This is the card, Lady of the Lake, but the specific, which is pretty awesome. I'm a huge fan of Miss of Avalon and the Arthurian legends.
Beautiful, beautiful.
I know, it's pretty.
Yeah, it's gorgeous.
Yeah, it's my next Halloween costume.
Very nice.
Just kidding. But it was like, turn the messages into the source of your transformative power. So having the messages, be something to be like, getting everything's going to be okay. That can be a source of transformative power, being like, everything's going to be okay. I don't have to worry about the future. I can be present now. So turn them into the source of your transformative power. Feel excitement at the possibilities presented to you. Was a specific message for that card. And it's a great way to look at receiving messages and being open to messages, anything that the world presents to you, which could be honestly like, driving around seeing angel numbers, like 888 repeated or something. And you can look up what that angel number is on the internet. There's lots of different angel numbers out there. Or walking around and seeing, or having be thinking about something and have a specific song come on the radio. If people listen to the radio still, I don't know, maybe it's all streaming, but maybe it's coming up on the streaming.
Yep.
And then look at and see what those messages mean to you. I mean, obviously you can get oracle decks and find messages for yourselves by doing first spreads and like do that as a specific intentioned way of receiving messages. And then you can also do that with like, this message for the audience about having this as like, having the intention of like, what are the possibilities for me? What do I need to know right now? Do it with an oracle deck spread if that's what you want. But if you don't have oracle decks, if that's not your bag, that's great. Just be open to receiving those messages in the world, and what they mean to you.
Yep. Agreed. Yep. I like that. And I mean, like you said, they are everywhere if you're attentive to them and you kind of ask for them. And stuff just continually shows up throughout the day, and it could be a bird flying around near you, or it could be a feather on the ground if that's significant, or something that's shows up, and it could be something related to somebody precious who you've lost, and maybe it's kind of like a little sign from them if you're attentive to that too. So I think it's a beautiful thing to just open up to. And the oracle decks, not going to lie, are fun. As using them as a tool to just, we keep saying it's like, you can't make this stuff up. It's like messages always come out so clear. And if they're not exactly clear, because sometimes there's a little bit of ambiguity or you don't quite exactly know what they're getting at, clarification ones always bring it home. And then you get it and then you go, right. You might not, again, appreciate the message depending on what it is for the day or what you've been asking, but you generally get the information that you need. So,
yeah. Sometimes I will say you do get those messages where you're like, "Oh, fuck, really?"
Yeah, you kind of growl at the cards. Yeah, growl at the cards, going, "Yeah, no." It's like, oh,
yeah. I have to say, I've definitely had these moments where I'm like, and then I'm like, okay, I'm sorry, I'll accept the message. I don't want, because you don't want to block anything.
Fault. That's not your fault. I know.
Yeah.
I need to hear it.
You don't want to block the messages from coming to you, but sometimes you have your human moment. You have your moment of like, oh God, really? Do I really need to hear this? I've definitely had those, especially this past year. Yeah. But I also feel like what's really important to remember is like those messages in a way are the most important. Yeah. Because what's that triggering in you? What is that causing in you to not want to have this be the message up in your face, right? Where's that thing of growth there? Where's the thing that you have to recognize in yourself and acknowledge in yourself? To say, this is why I'm getting this message. It's that mirror thing that we've talked about in the past, right?
Yeah.
And also to say, okay, well, here's this message. I don't like it. It's not something I want to acknowledge or want to see in myself. This is a moment of growth. This is a moment of kind of self-awareness and opening up to possibilities that, because if we're blocking things off, if we're saying we don't want this, then what else are you saying you don't want? Because one of the messages I received not too long ago was about, I wish I could remember the Greek myth. I mean, it's Perseus was part of it. Oh, when he saves Andromeda from the monster, right? Well, her father got the message, the oracle message, that he had to sacrifice her to the sea monster, whatever his name was. So the Greek myth, so just for our audience who just had a connection issue, we're going back to our conversation. The Greek myth with Andromeda is about, like if her father had said, I don't want to do this. I'm not going to sacrifice my daughter that I love to this monster. And he didn't follow the advice of the oracle to save his people or whatever. I actually know read the Greek myths a lot. I can't believe I can't remember this better right now. I got to do a body code session for that. Anyway, if I didn't do that, well then, Perseus wouldn't have came to rescue her. Pegasus wouldn't have been, he wouldn't have had to slay Medusa, and Pegasus wouldn't have happened, because Pegasus was born from the blood of Medusa. All this stuff, wouldn't have happened. He wouldn't have had all these, amazing adventures. So it's basically saying, yes, there's these messages that you may get that you don't necessarily want and don't want to acknowledge. But if you just turn a blind eye to them or just go about, kind of status quo or whatever, then what are you missing? What possibilities are you shutting yourself off to?
Right. And I think too, what's important is that sometimes, well, especially when we do the work that we're doing on ourselves, but also for clients as well, it would apply, is if you do come across a message that's particularly prickly, or that you kind of have a deep reaction to or revulsion from, or however you want to describe it. It could be very many different emotions that can come up, that it is okay to pause, write it down in great detail as best you can, and even ask for either clarifying messages or any other messages that you might need to know related to it, and just marking it all down, taking pictures of the cards, and then giving yourself a day's grace or even a week's grace, whatever, and then go back to it. And, maybe even doing some balances around the reaction that you had, or even questioning even more messages related to the reaction, can also help. And then, piece by piece, kind of working your way back to it. So, yeah, you're right. If you just kind of go, forget that, shut the book, close the door, don't open it again. You don't know. Obviously, it's triggered something. And like you said, those little nuggets of gold, the triggers that we have are really great growth moment and possibilities of expansion and integration of the healing of whatever it might be, tweaking and stuff. And so I think that's really, it's important, but it's also important to, again, where you're at, if you can't deal with it. And sometimes stuff will come up and we'll have to work together, where I'm like, I know it's going to be really heavily loaded, and I don't want to do it all on my own. And that's when I reach out, and it's like, oh, hit a really big nugget, feeling real sensitive about it, and I might need some help on it so that I can, have a fellow friend or facilitator to then help you walk through the different elements and, piece by piece, slowly, as opposed to a big rip the Band-Aid off moment, to just proceed through it slower. And generally speaking, it does ease into it, even though at the moment, it might seem like, but bit by bit, then it's kind of a more gentle flow into it. And then by the end of it, it's a great release, and then better on the other side of it, as we always say. So, but yeah.
Well, and two, like working when you have these prickly moments, working with somebody else kind of gives you an outside perspective because sometimes it's so when you're so close to it because it's you,
Mm-hmm.
you can't really see what you need to see for that. Whereas when we work together and you get messages from me or I get messages from you from our oracle decks or books sometimes,
Mm-hmm.
it's like, whoa, like here's this, this different perspective, or you're bringing something different to the table and I can't see it.
Mm-hmm.
So when you have those moments, if you can talk to a friend or look at it from a different angle or work with somebody different, then that can be really helpful for you.
Mm-hmm.
That can be something where you are then being able to get a different perspective to something that is in your face all the time.
Mm-hmm.
So you only see this one thing. Like
Right.
you only see like this part of your face all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And then but if you're looking at it, you can see the whole picture because I
Right.
can't anymore because I'm only seeing this, but like you can see, all of this.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
Yeah.
I hope
No,
so.
agreed. Yeah. Total sense.
Yeah. Yeah, this work is really fun that way. And also I feel like being able to look at everything in your life. One of the things Sandra would talk about is just, especially when we were up there, I was at her house for one of the workshops, is like, she's like, yeah, I just expect messages all the time. I go outside and I see a bird and I'm like, oh, what's the message in that? And so she will go and look at these things and just is open to receiving these messages from the natural world or from her daily life. It doesn't always have to be out of an oracle deck.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And then just sort of examining what those are. And again, and for people out there who don't have PSYCH-K, you can do this so easily, even if you don't have books oracle decks. You can say, I wonder if there's a message in my office, or if there's an explanation for this, or the message in this is in my office or in my room, my bedroom, my living room, or whatever. And just look around and, my eyes fall on this book here. Maybe the message is in there. You pick the book up, you open it up to a page and point at it. And it's like, is this the message? Does this mean something to me? Give it a try. Maybe it works, maybe it doesn't, but be open to it.
Mm-hmm.
Using your intuition in that way can be really powerful.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely. Yeah.
Yeah, messages are fun. Oracle decks are fun. I have to say, I really enjoyed the fact that before I started doing PSYCH-K, I had 4 Oracle decks, maybe. I think definitely 2. Now I've got more than I care to think.
Have a few more. Yeah. Yeah.
But it's amazing to see what comes up, and sometimes they'll come up in cycles, where I'll get a bunch out of but one.
Mm-hmm.
And then I won't see it for a while, and sometimes I'll get a bunch out of another one, that I haven't had for a long time. So yeah, it's pretty fun how that happens. Because too, a lot of these, the people the authors have channeled stuff or gone into, or have done so much work that they're just downloading all the stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's a lot of beautiful guidance and insight that you can glean from these things. So yeah.
What I love is when you get a message and you're like, huh. And sometimes you'll ask for a clarifying message and there will be one. And then you get another deck and you get the message in the deck and it's the same message as the other card, even though they're 2 different decks.
Yeah. 2 different authors.
It's as simple as that. That's the message. So you don't need to look any further, just right there.
Yeah.
And it's just hilarious to me. If you've got a few decks and that happens, it's pretty clear because I don't know how I could have made that happen, but yeah.
Right.
So
yeah, that's always fun. And you're that's one of those times when you're really? Really?
It's well, you're not.
Can't throw me a bone.
Yeah, exactly. Sorry. You asked, and here's your message.
Yeah, right. It's
yeah, don't ask for what you don't want, right? So
I know. Well, it's funny too, because like I like from, especially with the Oracle decks, like the way we do it is like I like getting specific lines. I mean, there's times where you just read the whole description for the card, and it depends on what you're doing. And so one of the things that we do in PSYCH-K is it's a specific protocol where you're getting specific guidance for the day or for the moment or something that you need that day to listen to or to hear or to like align with.
Mm-hmm.
And then you'll read the entire description if it comes up for you in an Oracle deck. But what I like to do, especially when I'm working with a client and for these podcasts, is to get the specific lines for the Oracle deck. Because sometimes it'll be like you'll get the general meaning of the card,
Mm-hmm.
and you're like, oh, okay, well, that's interesting. But then you'll get the specific line and it's related, and the general meaning or all the other stuff sort of puts it in context. But like the specific message, the specific lines are like, oh, yeah, okay, I get that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Good times, good times.
Keep smiling.
When you're really like cringe, but okay. And sometimes the specific lines are like so perfect. Like actually I kind of feel that way today about mine, where it's like bring your projects and dreams for the future to life without a powerful and fertile inner world. We live off the ground.
Mm-hmm.
And grounding for me is really important, and it centers me. And when you're centered and grounded, it gives you more space to be creative
Mm-hmm.
and to have be visionary. So yeah, like even though you would think the general theme of this card is all about grounding, it's not just about grounding. It's about the potentiality around that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So anyway.
Yeah, definitely. And to clear away all the uncertainty and confusion surrounding so many different things and just becoming quiet, I think.
Yeah.
To allow for the deep thoughts to come out. Because when there's so much noise and clutter, it's like, yeah, it's not helpful. Not helpful.
No, I know, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So.
Anyway.
Oh, yay.
Yay. Are we feeling complete with this podcast?
I think so. I mean, I think we've certainly jazzed up messages.
Yeah.
Thing. So.
Well, I feel like sometimes it would be fun. Here's an idea. If anybody out there in the audience wants to get a specific message for something, put a comment in their thing and say, I want to get, as this thing happened to me and I'd like to have a message for that.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see if anybody goes for that. And if you do, we will either reply in the comment to you or maybe even feature it in our next podcast.
There you go.
Sounds like fun. That's an idea.
Yeah. Yeah. Give people a taste of messaging.
Yeah, right? Yeah, it'd be kind of fun. And then we could even show you, or maybe not. I don't know if we're going to go through the whole process of getting the message, because it can be a little boring to see someone go, but
right.
Yeah. But yeah, let's check that out. See if anybody puts anything in the comment fields about getting a message. So
sounds like a good idea.
Nothing dirty.
No.
Oh.
No. Nice questions and inquiries. Yeah.
Yeah. Keep it PG-13, people.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Sounds good.
Do they have that same rating system in Canada for movies?
Yeah. I mean, it's a little bit confused, I think, as far as movie ratings and stuff. Yeah, I get confused between like 18 and R, and
there's an 18?
I think so. There's like an 18 plus, and then there's an R rating, and then there's a whole bunch of different ones that I'm not quite clear on all the concepts for things, but.
Okay. Well, anyway, now we're totally getting off topic. So let's just go ahead and say goodbye.
Yes.
We'll do messages later about getting off topic. I'm just kidding. Okay, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us. It's been a real pleasure. We love you. If you enjoyed this podcast, please like and subscribe below. And yeah, and that's it. Just like and subscribe, even if you didn't like the podcast. Just kidding.
Yeah, exactly. Thumbs up. Yeah, thank you, everyone. And we'll see you on the next one.
Yes, thank you so much. Have a lovely weekend until we see you again. Or yes, I guess until you see us again. Whatever.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, it's all good. All right, where's the button to stop this thing?
Bye.
Bye.
Thanks for watching Kim and Angela talk. Please like and subscribe below. Click on the links below in the description to book sessions with Kim at keycranio.com and with Angela at treeoflighthealingarts.com.